Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming. We're jumping into Watcher of Realms and we've got a young free-to-play account. It's level 33. We're going over Gear Raid 2 Stage 10. Okay, so it's Gear Raid 2 Stage 10. That's what we're doing today. Why are we doing it? Well, it's the first place you get your Mythic Gear from, so that's quite an important milestone in your game. Because the Mythic Gear can be rolled up to 16, you get 4 substats. And then because it's going up to 16, your main stat will be bigger as well. So it's quite an improvement on your heroes. So that's why it's important. Okay, so that's why we're doing it. It is a beginner's guide, so we're going to be going over a lot of the stuff that for beginners. So if you're already aware of this sort of thing and you think that's a little too basic for you, please feel free to skip ahead. There will be chapters down below, so feel free to jump along to the bit that you would actually require or need. But essentially, it will be a quick intro, team look at the run, and then have a look at the heroes and their gear and a bit about Mythic Gear afterwards. So that's the sort of the gist of the video and its entirety. Okay, now the other thing we do want to check out and be aware of is the fact that there is something called pod. So when we go into this is Gear Raid 2. Now this is stage 10, and as we can see, we're about to fight this, but up at the top here, there is a thing called the power of dominance. Now if we include that and we enable that, we get a stat increase of plus 30% on all our stats, which just makes rerunning it after you 3-starred it much better. But if you see guides and they've got this on the top there, this means they've got the power of dominance on, and it is not the same thing as you're going to see if someone's first time in it. So make sure that is off, okay, when you're looking at guides. So you will see on thumbnails no pod or pod disabled or something like that, and that's what it refers to. Okay, so with that done, we can now have a look at the team and see how we go. Okay, right, let's get into it. Now with me out of the way, we can hit start on this. Now we can see we're at danger, we're a lot lower than the recommended BP for the fight. That's not an issue. We've got a bit of a bonus from our Lord skill, so that's quite important, and we'll come on to that later. And we've got Pantheon bonus, Pantheon level 31. Get in, how good's that? Now they're the 2 Lords there, so if you've got some Lords, we'll put them in and we'll discuss those a bit later on as we go through the rest of the game. What we do need is a good fighter, or a good defender, sorry, so that's the defender I've chosen, and then we fully kitted him out in what gear we can. So we've got a set there that gives us defense 15, and then what we've done here as on the right hand side, we've just made sure we've got HP bonus, so that's going to make him a bit more tankier, that's going to make him be able to take bigger hits. And also the way healing works is it works also off the person's HP, so he's going to get bigger heals as well. Now the other thing you're looking for, like, is defense bonus. That's always nice if you can get these secondary stats, but don't overly concern yourself, and if they don't roll well, they don't roll well. They're not overly that important. So we've leveled him all the way up to level 42 out of 50, and that's pretty much all you need. After that, we've then just got a lot of fighters to place down, and we've got a couple of healers to keep them alive, and we've got a DPS. So that's essentially how the fight is going to pan out for us. So let's just pause this, and I'll get me a bit smaller. So hopefully this should work, and I should be far enough out of the way. Now the start of it, I'm going to use Decimus. I'm going to place a hero down. He's going to get hit. Bang, there we go. And then we are going to remove him. Now when you remove someone, you get part of the coin cost back. Our next champion we're going to place down is our little Dwarfen Defender Lord. We love her because she comes on and she places a shield on herself. Just that shield takes a lot of the first hits of damage, so we can place her down for a bit longer. Okay, so there you are. She goes down. Now we've got the next one coming round. If we have a look at what's going on here, the mob that we're facing is known as the Golden Guard. So when we have a look down at his skills, and you can do this, you hit pause and there's the monster on you, you can flash that up and you can see the mobs you're going to be facing in the fight. And then what they do is, when we have a read through their skills, what they do is they charge forward and they collide with the first hero in their path. They deal massive damage to both the target and the Golden Guard himself. Okay, so we'll be able to see that as we go through the fight. We'll have a quick look at the next one. We can see the damage they do to themselves as well. So as he comes down, there he is. He's going to do massive damage to both us and himself. There we go. We took 2,000 damage. He takes 120,000 damage. He takes over half his health. Okay, and that's worth knowing because we're going to face a lot of these. We recall her and we get some of the coin cost back. Now we place our own tank down. There we go, that's the defender we want, and he's taking very minimal amount of damage. Next we're placing down our healer. Our healer's going down there. Now we haven't got a particularly good healer. There are a lot of healers out there that are better than the ones we've got, so hopefully you'll get one of those. Okay, now we'll discuss those later on as we go through healers as well. So this is the next mob coming down. Now interestingly, they've got a better defense than they have magic resistance. So if you've got a magic damage dealer, you're going to be doing much better, particularly if they do AoE. So that's going to be fantastic for you if you've got one. I'm not going to be using one of those because we're trying to make this as hard as possible for ourselves, and we want to apply people with the ability to look for other champions they've got. So if you've got a magic AoE damage dealer, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to put my second healer down now, so that's going to give me more healing going out, because the boss is coming up now and he's going to start doing his earthquake. He's going to start thumping the ground and smashing it and that sort of thing, and he's going to be dealing damage out across the whole of the map. So that's what he's doing. We've got a couple of healers up now, so we can overheal through this. That's not an issue. So there we go. This is what we really want. We want a damage dealer, we want one good defender, we want two okay healers, and the rest of it we're just chucking in stuff. Now Decimus is really good though, but we'll come on to that later. Now we've got the first 4 out of the way. This is the next wave coming through for us. As we can see at the top, we've got some more of these golden guards coming down, and what we've got is we've got our fighters to get in the way already. So there's Decimus going down there, and there's our next fighter going down there, and they will collide with those. They we can see take the 120,000 points of damage, and so do our fighters that we're not really fussed about. Okay, they take that damage as well, but we're not worried about those. And if we've got time, we can recall them. If you recall them, you're doing better because you get that coin cost back, and it's easy for you to place your next hero down. Next hero down on the right hand side is a little dwarf girl. She's been hit and that mob has killed itself. The next mob that comes down does the 120k damage. Who's taken a lot of damage himself. We can recall her and we can put down another defender on the right hand side. On the left hand side, our tank over there has tanked it up. We're okay with that. That's not an issue. He is designed to do that, so we only need one good tank. The other side, we're just letting them bounce off themselves. Now we don't want too many people down, because we want to keep up this healing, and unfortunately our healers are single target healers, but we'll come on to that again later when we discuss healers towards the end, and we'll have a look at who we've got and why. So did the first 4, that was the next 6 coming down, so we've now got on to wave 3. Again, we've got these guards coming down again, and we are just placing any old fighters in front of them. They don't need gear, they don't need to be good, they just need, preference would be a low coin cost and a quick redeployment time. There they go. So now they come down again, and he kills himself on the left hand side, and there's the one on the right hand side, he's killed himself. That's good news, he's not doing damage to us anymore. Okay, so that is exactly what we want. We've got the next 2 coming down now, and I didn't get anyone down in time. That's realistically what I've done, but now I'm placing someone else down there. He will probably, yeah, he's killed the first one, or the first one's killed itself, but he hasn't got any gear on and he's very low level, so he's going to die. But I have got other defenders there available, or other fighters we can put in the way, and they can just take up the hit for us. So there we go, they're taking up the hit. As long as we can get enough down there so we can kill them off, because they're the last couple. There you go, we can see up just above me there, we've got 17 out of 19 done. There's 18 out of 19 done, and we've just got the boss walking down now. Okay, so here comes the boss. Now let's pause this and have a quick look at the boss. If we have a look at the boss, going across his back, we can see he's a nice light blue color right in the center, underneath the rock formation coming up in there. He's a nice blue color. Okay, and that's the boss being all normal and things. Okay, now we're DPSing him, absolutely no great shakes whatsoever. Now when he comes down, he hits this enrage part and he goes all red. We can now see that he's got red tinge to him, and that's him being all enraged. Now there's a couple of things we can do. We can just tank it up and heal through it. That's one option. Another option is he's only really fussed about the people in front of him that he can't get past, so he's having a bit of a hissy fit about it. So you can quite easily just remove those and place someone else down. So when you remove them, he would then go, oh, that's all right, now I can carry on walking. When he carries on walking, he will go back to that blue color. There we are, and now he's much easier to tank against. Okay, so he does a lot, he's doing less, he's not doing those big hits all the time constantly. So there we go, that's him done there. Now you can either just tank it up and wait for it to happen. You can hit your ultimates that we could have done. There's a lot you can do. He's not overly tricky to actually get past if you've got enough heroes there. So I've got some more tanks I can put down in front of him. He's only got 3% to go. There we go. And that is the boss dead. That's him done for us. Okay, so there we are. There's our reward. And that's it done. That's it 3-starred. and we can move on quite happily. Now we can just auto run it, which is what we're essentially after, just getting those 3 stars, and then we can auto run it. And we want to make sure we've got stage 10 done, because that is the first place we get our mythic gear from. Okay, so that's why we want stage 10 done. Right, let's have a look at the team makeup. So there's our tank. We've already had a quick look at him. So this is our healer. We've got Hollow. She's level 50 out of 50. This is her gear. Now let's just move me out of the way a touch. So the set we've got here is Life Giver, 2 pieces, healing effect plus 10. So what is healing effect? Healing effect affects the amount of healing you produce. Okay, so not the healing you receive. So if you put this on your defender, that's not going to help them get bigger heals. It helps the person doing the heal, not the person receiving the heal. So you need to be very aware of what healing effect does. It affects the healing that someone puts out, not the healing that someone receives. Now it has got a thing called diminishing returns. So it's not a linear thing. The more you get, the better off your heals. At the start of the game, where you get a small amount of healing effect, you'll get a much better returns on the amount of healing you put out, as opposed to later on in the game when you're pushing 150 plus, then you really do start to see very minimal gains on the amount of healing you put out. It always increases, but not to such a great amount. So from 0 up to around 90 healing effect, really, really good. You get a good boost to your healing. From 90 through to about 150-ish, it sort of peters off a bit. From about 150 onwards, you're probably better off looking at other stats as well. But I wouldn't prioritize this over certain things about their healing, okay? So bear that in mind. That's what healing effect does. So we just need to make sure that we are aware of what it does and how it works before we push on and we completely build out our healers, okay? So nice little set, gives us a plus 10 healing effect. We like that. Now, what else? Our healer is probably the worst type of healer we can use for this, because she's an attack-based healer. We'd much rather have HP-based healers, because they are more tanky for us, okay? So this is her gear. We've made sure we've got attack percentage on everything that we're putting on her, and preferably flat attack as well. Doesn't roll particularly well, but it's a young account and we haven't got a lot of choices, okay? So we have to go with what we've got. Now, our single target and attack-based healing, like we say, now this is the important bit. So let's have a quick read of this. Attack-based healing. This is what healing does. Restores HP based on the target's max HP and the caster's attack. Now, the target's HP, this is why we put HP percent on our tanks, because they can take a hit then and they receive more healing because of it, okay? So HP based healers would be better, because they would survive a hit better and it'd be nicer for you, and they would still put out. But then we've got your tank as well in HP, so he's going to get a bigger heal. Now, here we go, flat attack, we've got attack percentage, we've got flat attack, and then we've got some survivalish stats that don't roll very well, and then we've got attack percentage, which we want, that's going to give us a bigger heal. We've also got in here healing effect, so we up that healing effect again. We've now got a total of 26 healing effect, so that's given us a boost to our healing. But we've also got attack speed, and what does attack speed do? That means we're going to attack quicker. So there's an attack interval, so from the moment you do one attack to the moment you do another attack, with attack speed you're going to be healing a little bit faster, which is quite important when you come to single target healers, because you want them to heal that one, and if the boss is doing AoE damage, we then want to heal over here, so we then need to cast as quickly as possible, okay? So a little bit of attack speed on a substat is not a bad thing at all, especially with your single target healers. So that's our healer made up. Her skills aren't all done, her awakenings aren't all done, because it's an early game and that's as good as it gets for us, okay? So that's our healer. Not fantastic, probably bottom of the heap I would say as a healer for here. She's a good healer in total, and she does, you know, a lot of other good things that we can use later on in the game, but essentially for here she's not ideal, but she has a nice range and she does do some healing. It's early game, you cannot pick and choose who you want, or the best healers in the game, so you have to go with what you've got. So you can do this stage with attack based healers and single target, okay? Right. Now the next healer we've used, you can fuse this hero up so anyone can get them, and again we've gone for the same stats, because unfortunately he is also an attack based healer and single targets. That is bottom of the heap for this sort of part of the content that you want to go for, but it is what it is. It's early game, you haven't got a lot of champions to choose from, so we've picked the worst champions we can get. So we've done some skills, again we're at attack based healing, but it is what it is, and we haven't awakened them yet, and artifact wise hasn't got one, which reminds me, so she did have an artifact on, there we go, gives her another 5 healing effect when HP is maxed, and then he hasn't got anything on. So that's our healers done. Now DPS wise, this is the DPS I used. It's my best AoE DPS I want to go for, but it's not magic. So he's level 50 at 50. We've fully promoted him all the way up of those 50. His skills are not all done, but we have got a spare copy of him, so we've awakened him. So his slow effect is slightly better, so it doesn't really affect his damage. And then after that, we've done attack with attack percentage, and then we've got attack percentage on his other pieces of kit as well. Now the right hand side, this is all quest reward stuff, okay? So you should have this set. I would assume that you've done the quest where you got the legendary pieces of kit, and then he's got his artifact on there as well. He's got Keen Wisdom. That's going to give him an 8% attack increase as long as he's got someone stood beside him. There we go. There's our next DPS, and she's 59 out of 60. We haven't promoted her because we can't get one of those at the moment. That's not an issue. And then we've done the same with her as well. Now her gear is not as good. Did we need her? We probably didn't. We could have ulted him and that would have probably killed off the boss, or we could have waited here to come back round. It's not an issue. You could do it with 1 DPS. Now Decimus is really important to this run. He doesn't need any gear. You could have done him naked. That's not an issue whatsoever. He's only there to be hit and make sure that he not only takes the that hit, but he also makes sure, more importantly, that the mob coming down, those guards take the hit. Now why do we like Decimus? If you get this 3-star, you put him, you keep him. You will be using him in content coming up in the game. He has a couple of very good abilities, and this is one of the major abilities, Defiance. So do make sure that you do his promotions. You want to give him at least 1 purple star promotion, and that kicks off this skill. When HP drops to 0, so instead of dying, the hero remains alive and continues to fight for 6 seconds. We're not worried about him fighting, but we're worried about him staying there for 6 seconds. That gives us 6 seconds where the mobs can do anything they like, but they can't get past him, and he's going to block that lane up for us, and that's why he's so fantastic. And he's a 3-star champion, so when you're pulling away, you see this icon here, when you pull a Decimus there, absolutely fantastic. Keep him. You're going to use him for a lot of content going forward, okay? And he's only 3-star. Now we did chuck some skills in. We hope to get this skill up here for the duration to go up from 6 to 8 seconds. That would have been fantastic, but we didn't get it, you know. It is what it is, and the rest of the skills we're not worried about. Like I say, he's got some gear on him, but he could well be naked without any issues whatsoever, because he's just there for that skill. That's all we want him for, okay? So he's level 32. I'll probably put some more in him later when I've got some spare time, and maybe do some more gear on him. Now the other fight we've got, we use this fighter. Again, he's 29 out of 30, and we're not overly worried about him. The only thing we're worried about him with was his cost. Now, the cost for Decimus is 17, but this is the other important bit I forgot to mention. He has got a redeployment time of 18 seconds to be redeployed. Pretty much everyone else you'll see has got a 60-second read time. There we go. You have a look here, redeployment time 60 seconds. Okay, everyone else is going to be much higher. So this champion, all we used him for was because he's cheap to put down. He costs 10, that's it. And he's just there to get hit by those mobs, bounce back, they take the 120k damage, and that's it really. And we used him when we were first playing for the first couple of levels, okay? He hasn't got any artifacts on or anything like that, and that's all we used him for. So that's pretty much it. Now, this is a Lord, so we want him mostly for his Lord skill. So you can awaken him if you want. No issues with that whatsoever. There's the gear we got on him. It's not fantastic. Again, just getting hit and allowing the bounce back, okay? So he's just there for the guards to take the mobs. He's got some skills in him, but the one we want him for is this one here. This is his Lord skill. So it increases faction team members basic attributes by 5%. So everyone else who's on that faction, okay, that he's highlighting there, okay, they all get 5% additional stats, and periodically increasing faction team members damage and healing bonus by 10% for 5 seconds. But you know, everyone's getting a 5% stat increase just because he's on the team, and there you go, you'll see him there, and then he's got the little Lord thing just here, lights up. And we've done the same here as well with her. Okay, but she's absolutely fantastic. Now we have got the epic, so we could have used the epic. I think they're free to play when you log in. They're a login reward after a couple of days, so you can put that champion in there, and you'll get a 10% bonus instead of the 5. So there's another option for you as well, and these are all free champions. Okay, he's 3-star. He's a login reward. Absolutely brilliant. Put them down even with no gear if you're just using them as a Lord skill. Okay, now Here's our little dwarven girl. I absolutely love this champion. She's awesome. She's a 3-star champion. She's a lord, so you get that lord skill for all the northerners, and you're going to use northerners quite a lot. Okay, so bear that in mind. She is top pull because the northerners are quite good for tanks, but they're quite hard to get hold of. So she's very good just for that role of being a northerner and being a lord. She's going to give everyone 5% additional stats. She comes down with that shield. She's very good at blocking, and she's going to increase other people's HP as well and give an occasional shield. All right, so she's an absolutely fantastic little champion. If you get her, don't feed her up because she's giving you that lord skill. Okay, there we go. Highlights that. We haven't got any other northerners there, but there are plenty of other northerners that are very good. So going on in the game, you'll probably just put her in the mix just so she can be used. Now, if we have a look at the guides, we can see recommended heroes here. So here's a tank, northerner. Okay, absolutely fantastic tank, and you'll get him free when you push on in Void Rift. Healer, she's absolutely fantastic. Why do we like her? Firstly, she's a northerner, so she'll tie in with that northerner feel. Okay, now let's have a look at her stats. There's her range. She's an AoE. So it says AoE heal, but it's not. It's really much more of a multi-target heal as opposed to an AoE. So when we have a look at it, healing grants HP-based healing. HP-based healing. Why do we like that more? Well, realistically, it's because the hero themselves become more tanky. So if she's got HP, then she's going to be much more tanky than if she's got attack. So she's going to be doing the same sort of healing, but she's going to heal 3 allies in range instead of 1. So you've only really got 4 or 5 on the field anyway, so most of them are going to be getting a heal. So she's absolutely fantastic, okay? And you use her very much on late game as well. So even if you fully max her out, not a waste of your resources, you are going to enjoy it as she goes on, because she's got a deep dispel as well, which is very useful late game. She's an AoE, she's a multi-target healer. It says AoE heal, but AoE is sort of everyone within an area effect. She just does 3, and there are some AoE, or I would class as proper AoE healers later on in the game. Okay, so do bear that in mind. She is one of the few HP based healers. Okay, so if you get her, absolutely fantastic, good epic healer that you can get. And not just her, we've got some others as well. This is only recommended, but I think he's absolutely fantastic. If he gets a vortex, look at the range he's got when he's fully skilled up. He's an HP based healer. He does only do 1 ally, but I mean, he's HP based as well, and he's got that big wide range that we got from our hollow as well when he's fully maxed up. And then when he's fully heals people up, when he over heals them, he supplies them with the shield. Absolutely brilliant champion if you get him. Okay, so they're both there as healers, both HP based, both northerners as well. So remember, our little dwarf, she's going to give us another 10%. This is the epic northerner defender, and she's a lord as well. So if you've got this champion, really good, she's going to provide everything the dwarf gives, but more so, and she's a better defender as well by quite some margin. But last time in the game took me a long while to get her. So there we go, there is stage 10 done. So that's our team makeup done. What did we want? We wanted one decent tank. We had a level 42 out of 50 tank. We'd leveled him up with HP, okay, just to make sure he could tank up the hits, and we place him on the left hand side. We then want 2 decent-ish healers, okay. We've got those leveled up, and we want them to be able to supply. We preferably want AoE, multi-target, and HP based healers. HP based would be ideal for us, but if you haven't got them, you can use single target attack based healers. And then we want 1 or 2 DPS, preferably doing magic damage, and then we're just topping up the rest of that with some heroes that can stand in the way really and be hit. So we can use almost any ground based units, right? And then we want to chuck in some lords if we've got them as well. Okay, now why do we want to do stage 10? Well, stage 10 is our first place we're going to get Mythic Gear from. So this is our Mythic Gear. We can roll it up to 16. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind. We get 4 substats instead of 1, 2 or 3, so depending on the rarity of your item. Now, it may not roll well, so don't roll up any old stuff, and rolling up from 12 to 16 is very expensive. And if it rolls purple early on, so like in 4 and 8 you get some purpley rolls, you'll probably find the other 2 are going to roll relatively well as well, okay. However, early game, make sure you're rolling up when the Tale of the Smith event is on, because then you're going to double dip into the gear you get and the points that you get, and therefore the rewards you get from the Tell of the Smith event. Okay, right, thank you very much. That's pretty much it for the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you could just do the old thumbs up, like and subscribe would help me out massively. There are plenty of other guides on the channel, so pop along, have a look around for other stuff you want as you progress in the game. Any questions, just put them down in the comments below. Always happy to get back to you. I might not do it straight away due to time zones. I could be sleeping, I could be out for the day, so it's not a straight response, but if I'm about, I will more than happily help you out. Okay, right, thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Hope the drops go well for you. Hope you get your Mythic Gear, and I will see you in a video again soon. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers. Goodbye.